Joining us today in the Media Center, a couple of global Rallycross drivers that will participate tomorrow night in the GRC season opener at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This will be a first of its kind event for the track. Gentlemen, we've been putting on stock car races here for 53 years, but this will be the first time we've ever had a rally race here on the front stretch. So, you've got me volume levels in the back there, Jonathan. Bring me up. I can't hear myself. There you go. Thank you. All right. I want to start with Marcus Grunholm. Marcus, you're a two-time World Rally champ. I want to ask you, while rally racing is very familiar in some parts of the world, I got to tell you, in the heart of NASCAR country in Charlotte, North Carolina, we're still newbies. This is the first time for us. What it is about rally racing, and specifically Global Rallycross, that made you come over here to compete this year?
Okay, I have a background in rallying, which is a little bit different from Rallycross. It's driving in the forest, different stages, but Rallycross, it's a nice sport. I did a small comeback. I would like to test again how it feels to drive a little bit, and now when I heard GRC is growing and going together with NASCAR races and one Indy race, and so I was excited to come here, and it's really nice. I hope the track will be good to drive. We have no dirt there, but still I think it will be good enough, and we will test it tonight. So I'm looking forward really to go out with our 600 horsepower four-wheel drive Best Buy Fiesta.
I want to follow up on that. You talked about this will be all asphalt. This will be all tarmac. As you said, a lot of rally, especially what you do, more stages, more through the woods, more through dirt, gravel, etc. What are some of the specific challenges? I know you haven't been on the course yet. What is it that you're looking at as, okay, this is we're going to have to pay attention to because it's kind of different than what we're used to?
No, we are many drivers, many cars at the same time on the track, and it's quite narrow, so it will be it's a little bit contact game as well, and we have to pay attention, I think, to the heat and to the tires as well. I don't know exactly. We will see tonight when we are testing, but I'm pretty sure that it will be difficult. And then the start is really, really important.
Is there any gamesmanship you can play at the start other than try to get, if you're in that second row, explain to it, because this is still new to us. If as a driver you're sitting behind the car in front of you on a standing start, what is it that you're trying to accomplish by the time you get down to the first hairpin?
I hope I'm not in the second row. So I haven't been thinking about that plan. That's a plan B, but there is a chance to take the joker lap. If you are really bad in the start, you can choose to take the joker lap and do your own race and hope that you can gain time.
David, this is David Binks, your teammate. David, living out in LA now. I know you've raced British Rallycross in the past. A little bit kind of the same question to him, the attraction of Global Rallycross for someone who may not be familiar with it. I'm trying to sell tickets, so tell me why fans need to come out here tomorrow to see what you guys are going to do.
Well, I mean, I've done Rallycross in England for, I think it's going on 13 years now. Started in the junior Rallycross ranks back in 1998. And, you know, seeing GRC starting to take off and looking strong in partnering with SMI this year, going forward, it was just such an exciting buzz around the whole sport that I really wanted to be part of it. And the sport as a whole, you know, you've got these high-powered four-wheel drive compact cars. You know, they're racing on mixed surface, or what we're doing this weekend, we're going to actually wet the tarmac in a section to sort of imitate what we would normally have as dirt. So, you know, we've still got varying grip levels, close action racing. There's going to be a little bit of air this weekend, and obviously as we move forward into Texas, we're going to have the big air jump hopefully, and you know, you're going to see these cars mixing it up at high speeds, quick acceleration, late braking, dicing with each other, and you know, it's obviously it's a different, complete different racing to NASCAR, and I think it complements that you're going to have some short action racing to go with the longer racing, and hopefully can blend together very nicely.
You touched on it, David, and throw this question to both of you. This is a very critical year for Rallycross in America, for global Rallycross. You've got an ESPN deal now. You're going to be live on ESPN for all of your rounds, all 6 rounds, including the X Games. You're also at Speedway Motorsports facilities partnered with what are America's two of the most popular forms of motorsports in America. You're going to have NASCAR companion events. You're going to have IndyCar companion events. I'd like for you to elaborate a little more. You talked about this is going to be a big year for global Rallycross. You two are going to be a part of this. There are a lot of manufacturers now spending money in this sport. This is a fledgling series, but this is something that could really, you're on the cusp of something big. Can you elaborate on how important this year is?
Yeah, I mean, it's for the teams, the sport, and the drivers. I personally didn't race the X Games last year. I was there viewing, and it was spectacular. And I think it was over 4 million ESPN viewers watched the race live on the Sunday. So it's got a following, and yes, there is a lot of the younger generation in there, and the way we would like to think, or myself as a driver thinks, is I used to go with my dad to watch racing all over the UK, and I think it would be great for NASCAR to take their father and sons, and the fathers might be really NASCAR mad, and that's their sport. But it's always good when a father and son can be together and enjoy motor racing, and the son's probably going to push his dad to go to the NASCAR to watch the fast little Fiestas that he probably wants to drive next year, or in our case, obviously the Ford Fiestas we want. But yeah, so as a year, it's very important to GRC and to us too as a driver. And we're both going to be pushing out there. We are teammates. I drive the Surfer American Express car, and sponsored by Best Buy too. And we're both going to be challenging for the lead, hopefully.
You want to follow up on that, Marcus? I know I talked to you beforehand kind of about the importance of this year for global Rallycross.
Yeah, quite the same words what David said. It's important, yes, that from now on everything works well with timings and everything, and with the live TV and so I think there is a lot of interest even in Europe for the drivers to come over here now. I have understood so and heard so. It's good. I really hope that it will be a big thing in the future.
Now, I want to talk on something. You talk about X Games generation. NASCAR has placed a big emphasis on the 18 to 34 demographic. It seems to be something that you folks already have. Global Rallycross, rally in general. It seems to really attract that demographic, sometimes in ways that maybe NASCAR has not over the past few years. Is there any particular reason? I mean, the Brian Degans and the Travis Pastranas and the people with motocross that have made their living on X Games and become big, is that the attraction, I suppose, action sports to that younger demographic?
Yeah, I mean, the following, the likes of Deegan and Pastrana and Tanner Faust, they have a massive following, especially through the internet and Facebook and things like that. All the mad, crazy videos they seem to do. I personally wouldn't really fancy backflipping a motorbike. But yeah, they've got good followings. The racing's short, and it's attracted into X Games, and that brought on another big following. And I think that the setup we're going to have at the ovals is going to get better and better. And this weekend it's going to be a great track, great crowd. And for me, it's just a great mix of two sports.
I know we got a question in the back. Go ahead, Stan.
Gentlemen, Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. The thought that crosses my mind is, number one, is because I don't really know your form of racing, is what, as a young man, about what you do attracted you to this form of racing versus other forms of racing?
Right, I mean, it is a very difficult question. I was attracted to Rallycross when I was a youngster, because back in England I could actually start racing at 16 years old, and since then they have in Europe brought out junior classes starting at 14 for 1000cc cars. At the time I was actually the youngest person ever to do Rallycross back in 1998, and that was back in the old BMC Leyland Minis, and it's a sport I've loved and grown through all the way. So you know, this is my rookie year in Rallycross as a professional, and it took a big leap of faith for me to actually make this jump, and looking from the outside, I couldn't think of anything else better to do. Yes, any form of motorsport for me would be fantastic, and I'd love to do more in the future, but you know, my heart's set on making this sport big, and hopefully, not hopefully, you know, we will be up there, so let's make sure it's a good year.
For me, it's quite easy answer now when I'm thinking. We don't have racetracks in Finland, really. So it's, yes, we have, but no ovals, no big stadium. So it's more or less driving in the forest with different cars, forest roads, like I'm used to do. So that's how we in Finland mainly. Okay, there is good race drivers as well, like Kimi Räikkönen for the moment, but not so many. So we are more rally drivers.
You know, Marcus just brought up, this is the second year in a row that the Coca-Cola 600 weekend has been ambushed by a Finnish driver. We had Räikkönen last year came over and did the truck series, stayed a week to do the nationwide series, and actually held his own quite well. And so, just an observation, but welcome. This is pretty cool. Another record, another first at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Can I follow that up real quick?
Sure thing.
Okay, in talking with Sprint Cup drivers or Grand National drivers, or, you know, the Nationwide Series drivers or the truck drivers, one of the things they talk to you about is the intense excitement that they feel, and it's all different in how they say it. So describe the excitement and positive end that you feel in the driving that you're doing out there.
No, for me, excitement is the start. The most. I mean, we are lined up and everybody into the first corner, and who is first there and out from the first corner. That's it. That's really exciting thing in Rallycross. Okay, also the driving, of course, but for me, mainly the start situation and so on. Yeah.
And for me, I mean, Martin sort of hit the nail on the head there. The start line is all about Rallycross, because the races are so short. We've got to try and make sure that we get out front. Yes, we've got the Joker, which is a shorter section of track, which can give us a fail-safe if anything went wrong. But you know, these small cars are sitting with 600 plus horsepower. We're sitting on launch with the anti-lag and the boost pressure all building. They're popping and banging. Literally, it's hopefully you'll see where I come from. It's a sight to be believed, and the flames are coming out the exhaust pipes. We're all stationary. The transmissions are all ready to go, and when we launch, it's 0 to 16 between 1.9 and 2.2 seconds. And you know, we literally are all dicing then for that first braking, the latest braking point for the first corner. So you know, it is very, very close action sport. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too.
I got a question. Who's the favorite?
Me. I'm not. I'm going to try to be.
I have no idea. I think it will be really, really close. We have many good cars, many good drivers, so very difficult to say.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us in here, and we hope to see you back. I'm sure we'll bring the winners, the podium finishers in. Hope to see you back here on Saturday night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got a ton.